What up YouTube, it is the end of March and it is time to review our month as a whole. At the end of the month, it's a perfect time to go through your trades to see what you did well, what you didn't do so well. So let me do this with the trades taken in our group and show you how I'm going to improve until next month. So yeah, these are my stats for this month. 10 wins, 1 break even, 1 loss. Not bad. 90.91% win rate. And the total pips secured was 77. As I said when I started this last month, I'm going to be aiming for 100 pips to be around about 4 to 5% at the start, and then gradually increase it as I get more confident and all that kind of stuff coming back to trading. So yeah, that wasn't bad at all. And there's all the stats for you guys to maybe look and pause if you fancy it. But yeah. These are all the trades taken. In terms of gold and GJ, kind of split, kind of a split of things, which is nice. I quite like having the split. But again, some months there'll be more GJ, some months there'll be more gold. That's just how the cookie crumbles. So that's fine. Now, what I've done over here is I've added this column here, which is zone total, which is basically showing me how much more did this run or push in the zone that I drew. In each trade, and how much did it fill that zone. Now that doesn't mean just push straight after. It could have maybe you might have had to hold your stops much longer, but eventually it did come to the point that I expected. And as you can see, the total, if I sum these up over here, so if I sum these up and then minus the 56 off, so let's just say this is total 300 pips. Because this one here is minus, it was a negative. And if we do this here, it was 70, wasn't it? Yeah, 77. So the difference is quite significant in terms of holding. But again, does that mean I'm going to just hold my trades? No, I like the fact that I close very early and I get my trade done for the done and dusted. However, once I continue and improve and want to improve my trading every single month, I'm going to be seeing which areas that I could have potentially held with more confluences. Okay, so that doesn't mean every single one here I should have held more. No, it's just the overall zone. How much more did it push? So yeah, there's some ones here, for example, like this one here. I did just close too early, 13 pips, and the zone was so clean, it was so obvious. So it's basically looking at the clean ranges that I should have held on, which I've obviously done. In my analysis, doing this by myself. But yeah, that's kind of just giving you a brief overview. But yeah, very, very happy with that. Now, obviously, the good thing about this is I've only got one losing trade. And I'm going to go that through you now because it's very, very important. And it was generally just a lack of, I think, awareness of the charts. I think I struggled with that on that day for some reason. And I'll show you why. So this was on the 15th of March. So we're just going to go through this over here. And I'll show you what really went wrong. So 15th of March. And this is good. So the good thing about this is, again, I'm just going through the losing trade. Everything else is positive. So it's really, really good in the fact that I can really hone in on what went wrong. And, if I get this right and if I really improve this, my win rate would be obviously even better, but it's not even about the win rate. I would have saved myself 56 pips. So this month would have looked, 120 pips or so, 130 pips, which is great. So that's the beauty of having just one losing trade, okay? Really, really helps you get better because you can just focus on it. So, yeah, this is on the 15th of March. Yeah, okay. So we're going to start on the daily time frame like I always do. So the 15th of March was right around here. So in terms of the 15th of March, you can see here, what do we actually have going on? Well, the 15-minute candle, the daily candle closed here, the previous one, bearish, okay? But did it close above or below anything? No. So, in terms of the higher time frames here, all I said was that we were in this range and we may bounce between these ranges, okay? We may bounce in between here. The last candle closed bearish, so that's the first issue that I have looking back on this. Every single time that I've taken a trade, if it's on the higher time frames, and if it's backed by the higher time frames, the daily, the monthly, the weekly, in terms of the closures, the trade tends to do well. When I start to go against the daily, I struggle significantly if it's not just a retest or a continuation, sorry, a retest before continuation. So yeah, that is the first warning sign for me. Okay, so I'm just going to write them here. So the first warning sign was the daily was bearish, okay, but it didn't close below anything, and that was kind of what I was saying. I was saying the daily hasn't closed below anything. It's still respecting support, so realistically we could just bounce off of here, break this high, and continue to fill the range. But in terms of that was silly. The daily was bearish, but also there was a little minor resistance as well. There's a minor resistance here. Well, it's actually not really minor because actually it's a daily. It's a daily res. So another res in middle of zone. So again, it's kind of like, in terms of why I was thinking this, we'll go into the lower time frames, but what I can see already is that I was focusing too much on the lower time frames and not the higher time frames, which was my issue. Okay, let's take a look then at the 4-hour time frame. So this is on the 15th. Yeah, so obviously, in terms of the 15th here, we had a major support. We had 4 hours closing very, very bullish. So again, I wasn't just taking buys randomly. The 4 hours were printing very nicely, and all I could see from the left-hand side here is clean candles to push back up, okay? And I thought that we could maybe fill back up to this resistance at least, okay? Now, that's fine, that's hunky-dory. The 4 hour doesn't really give me much apart from the fact, again, we kind of are in a range, but also another kind of issue here is that we have this, 1 second. I really should have had trading. Zoom out. But we've got a high, made a low. Okay, and look, we keep on continuing down. We're starting to squeeze. So that again, it's kind of like when we start to squeeze here, we do get a bounce. And obviously, it was up here where we got the bounce. But it kind of shows that there is going to be a bit of a ranging market, and you could be in a difficult area here. And again, I don't like trading ranges, so it was kind of an issue for my part in terms of. Also just the day and the in terms of the structure, it was more of a ranging day. But anyway, one of the main issues was this. So this is where I took it. I took my buy up here because we closed above and I thought we could drive to this high. However, looking at the hourly, this is where my main issue was. Okay, we did not close above this hourly support. So I don't know why I was thinking of taking that trade. I think I was looking at the 30. So let's take a look at the 30. Yeah, so I was looking more like this. This support held, tapped. But realistically, I should have checked also on the hourly, which I normally do. Again, it's just a lack of judgment, and sometimes a switching off, not being fully focused, and that's what happens. You get hit and you lose a lot of money. Now, I'm not going to go more into detail on this in terms of just why I took the trade, because you can see it was pretty bad in terms of decision making. However, I do want to discuss my stop loss. So if you see on here, you can see that I took a minus 56 pips, which is a lot. I do get it. Now, in terms of how I'm going to be taking trades, that is probably going to be one of the biggest losers that I'm probably going to get. Now, the main reason is because when I took this trade, I also thought, I think it was around here, stop loss below here. I think it was around here. Maybe it's around here, like there. I thought to myself, I think it was based on the 4 hour as well in terms of the previous low. I think it was our 4 hour low, yeah. So what I thought was, right, well, if this hourly candle is pushing bearish, right, if we close bearish respecting this resistance, then fair enough. What I could do here is wait for this candle to close bearish. But when this hourly candle here, so when this hourly candle comes and makes a top wick, I could either get out at break even if it really touches it, or I can get out once it reflips. So what I would have done is move my stop loss to there and only lost 27 pips once it made the top wick. When it started making a little top wick, I would have just moved my stop loss to there. However, it didn't. It rejected pretty hard, no top wicks at all on the previous hourly, and came straight to my stop pretty much instantly. So that was a bit of an issue in terms of managing how I wanted to manage the trades, because I thought even if we close bearish and reject, the top wick here can save me, or I can just get out at 20 pips and that'll be fine. So yeah, that was the only losing trade in the month. Everything else was winners, which is great. But again, I just want to go through you guys on the YouTube and stuff just to show you how I'm improving every month and how I'm getting better. And for me here, it was just a real lack of focus, maybe on that day, and maybe looking at the day in terms of why maybe I was unfocused is probably the next thing I'm going to do. But yeah, just the hourly didn't close above the support, so it was going to be a tricky situation. And again, in terms of the daily at the time, yeah, the daily was bullish, but again, the previous one closed bearish. So unless it breaks the previous high, this can easily just reflip and close bearish, which is exactly what it did, and then drove the next day. So, in terms of, learning that is just sometimes what you've got to do in terms of trading, right? You've got to make sure that you are responsible for your actions, and sometimes you just take it on the chin. None of this, oh, the markets were against me. I just generally took a wrong trade, and that's my fault, and I gotta take that accountability and work on it. So that's beautiful, and yeah, that's kind of how we're doing it. And again, I'm gonna be doing another video very, very shortly. But for the most part, the reason why I like this high win rate, low R to R, get your trades every single day, pretty much. Nice, quick, and easy trades. When a loser comes, you manage accordingly. But in terms of that, it keeps your confidence up. You're taking nice trades. You're feeling good. In terms of the higher time frames, you always keep on the higher time frames, and you should be amazing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just a little bit of a recap for the month. If you guys do want to get these signals, I will put the link in the description where I send out all of these signals to my group. There's about 36 people here. Only started it in March, and yeah, very, very, very happy with how that's going. And you also get access to the chat where we all speak on a daily basis about trades and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, make sure to go and check that out. It's only $29.99 for the month, which is very nice. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on, guys. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.